So at this point, it's pretty safe to say that everybody in their gran plays online games to the point where everything is so online, it's only a matter of time before our microwaves become multiplayer. But it got me thinking about the games that got me into multiplayer gaming, and so today's in discussion is multiplayer memories. Now, growing up, I wasn't into PC gaming, didn't have a PC, and so I wasn't really introduced to that at all. I know a lot of people kind of started their multiplayer gaming through PC, but that wasn't really for me. Um, I remember very distinctly that Nightfire was one of the games that I played a lot for the first time on multiplayer. A lot of people started off with GoldenEye, of course, which was the big first-person shooter for the Nintendo 64. But I never owned a Nintendo 64. I had played it a little bit, and I was aware kind of its status within the gaming environment, but never owned a Nintendo 64. So I kind of had to go back to that after it had been out for a good few years. But Nightfire, I remember plenty of sleepless sleepovers where me and some mates would just sit up all night playing Nightfire. And the fact that it had all these kind of quirky characters like Oddjob, who was much smaller than everybody else, so he was harder to shoot in the map. And it had some great maps. I remember one where there was this open plain and there was the two castles, and you had these lasers that you could use to defend it, and the gondolas that would go round, and just some really great map design and some really great multiplayer. Actually, quite an underrated game, if you ask me. I remember playing a lot of Halo 2, again on a friend's computer. Many days of just passing the controller back and forth and playing online, and that was my big introduction to online multiplayer. And I was at that time I owned a PlayStation and I didn't have online or anything like that. I mean, the PlayStation 2 online was kind of primitive to say the least. So to see this online gaming and see what it was kind of spectacular. And kind of from that point on with Halo, never really looked back. It wasn't until 2008 when I was 18 and I traded in my PlayStation 2, my original Xbox, and I bought an Xbox 360, which came with Modern Warfare 1, that I kind of really got into online gaming. First of all, leaping from standard definition games to high definition games, I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this? I was very impressed. And I didn't particularly like uni, and I didn't particularly like what I was doing, so I spent a lot of time playing Call of Duty. And ever since then, really, I've never really stopped playing Call of Duty, and I think it's certainly fallen from grace, but it's still great fun to play, especially multiplayer. And the other game that I have a lot of fond memories for is Halo 3. Having Halo 3 and Modern Warfare 1 kind of rotating in the multiplayer gaming was just some really great times with those games. I remember one match on Halo. It was a 2-on-2, and me and my mate were really battling with these two generals, and it was a game of oddball, and they had been winning the whole match, and we had managed to get the ball, and we were holding it and we were stressing out and we were going nuts, and we managed to win by like 2 points, and it was literally the best day ever. So I mean, online gaming is great, and it's more accessible now than it ever was. And I still play a lot online, and most of what I do is online, and it's fabulous. But I wanted to kind of look back at those times that got me into it. So I'd like to know what your guys' sort of distinct online memories are of multiplayer, and do share them in the comments below, and do head over to oneofus.net for more great content, and I'll see you next time.